Let's talk about something most guys are actively avoiding. Why does the timer run out so fast? And more importantly, why is it happening to you? First, drop the guilt. It's not a lack of willpower, and it's not just in your head. What you are dealing with is a hypersensitive neurological reflex. Your nervous system is essentially hitting the panic button way too early. Because this is such a common issue, the market is flooded with quick fixes. Let's break down what you're actually doing to your body when you use them. First, the numbing sprays and creams. Their job is literally to block the nerve endings. Sure, you might last longer, but you're doing it by turning off the Wi-Fi. You create a massive disconnect. Not to mention, if it transfers, you end up affecting the other person too. It disrupts the entire experience for everyone. Then, you have the oral protocols. Most of these are actually designed for other cognitive uses. How do they work? They artificially flood your brain with serotonin. Serotonin naturally delays the body's final response. But here is the massive trade-off. You are hijacking your entire brain's chemistry just to delay a localized physical reflex. That's why you get the brain fog, the nausea, the fatigue, and sometimes a complete drop in your natural energy. You have to plan hours in advance, waiting for it to kick in. It makes connecting feel like a calculated routine. Your body eventually builds a tolerance to the chemicals, or the side effects just become unbearable. So what do you do when the chemistry lab fails you? You look to physics. If you read the latest medical literature, there is a growing interest in neuromodulation. One specific area is PRF, pulsed radio frequency. In clinical settings, doctors have used PRF for years to treat chronic pain or calm hyperactive nerves in conditions like Parkinson's. The scientific principle is about using physical energy to reset nerve firing patterns. What's interesting right now is the evolution of this technology. The medical field is shifting from invasive clinical procedures to exploring non-invasive applications. Researchers are looking at how targeted physical pulses might gently train the specific local nerve pathways, raising their sensitivity threshold over time without relying on pharmacological intervention. To summarize, the medical community is starting to recognize the practical limitations of relying solely on chemistry. Data actually shows that up to 80% of men eventually discontinue traditional prescriptions for this specific issue. It's not necessarily because they don't work, but simply because managing the timing and the bodily impact makes them very difficult to sustain long-term. Topical options and systemic protocols absolutely have their place, but they are no longer the only options. The emergence of non-invasive physical neuromodulation, like PRF, represents a fascinating shift in the scientific approach, focusing on training the nervous system rather than just temporarily altering its chemistry. It's all about having sustainable options. Read the clinical literature, understand the science behind your body, and make the choice that makes sense for you.